Thanks for the free funny.
Take my heartache, bury it deep inside. Take my trouble, bury it deep inside. When nobody can go. I don't want you to be another lonely soul. No, no, no,
I think you should cut him a little slack. At the end of it all, it's only a few quid, isn't it?
Excuse me, you want to get out of my
It's
fucking
just the
face
poor
right?
boss has had a tough life. And desperate circumstances tend to make desperate people. I'm not saying that it's...
I'm acting right now.
Someone's going to get it. What?
Sabine! Right, where's the fucking light switch?
I'm Claire Waters, and we've been... I'm Claire Waters, and we've been discussing the hacktivist, now alleged terrorist group, DedSec, on this week's Buccaneer Radio. I have Colin calling in. Colin, what's your take?
Now, I've been saying from the start we should have rounded up DedSec and thrown them in jail. Now, I'll say they should all be lined up and shot.
You don't find it awfully convenient that they've been thinking... Coming up today on The Upload, we're talking about Skye Larson, the enigmatic founder of Broker Tech. Everyone knows her name, but no one knows too much about her. And we only really see her these days as a hologram. She was pretty young when she launched Broker Tech, the company that is best known for introducing Bagley to the world. Nowadays, it's hard to remember a world before Bagley.
And I think that what Skye Larson's done with Bagley is absolutely incredible. Bagley is the most advanced, significant AI of our time, and it's really blown all the other AIs that were created out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really imagine the optic without it. But what do you know about Skye Larson herself?
Not a lot, other than that she's actually pretty incredible. I've followed her work for a long time, and she's always been a pretty private person. I know that she supposedly grew up in the countryside, but there isn't actually that much more we know about her other than this tech that she's put out into the world.
I've always found it a bit creepy that she's so obsessed with this idea of transhuman. Coming up today on The Upload, we're talking about Skye Larson. Coming up today on The Upload, we're talking about Skye Larson, the enigmatic founder of Broker Tech. Everyone knows her name, but no one knows too much about her. And we only really see her these days as a hologram. She was pretty young when she launched Broker Tech, the company that is best known for introducing Bagley to the world. Nowadays, it's hard to remember a world before Bagley.
And I think that what Skye Larson's done with Bagley is absolutely incredible. Bagley is the most advanced, significant AI of our time, and it's really blown all the other AIs that were created out of the water.
Hello and welcome back to The Upload. In this episode, we're talking about CTOS 3.0, the city operating system that's now powering all of London. For those of you who need reminding, as if anyone does at this point, CTOS was first used in Chicago in 2014 and then San Francisco in 2017 before coming here to London. And every time it's been rolled out, it's been pretty much an unmitigated disaster.
For those of you who are listening who are lucky enough not to be here in London's chaotic scenes, it's worth remembering that the telecoms tower is now owned by Bloom. The tower looms over northwest London. It's always been a communications hub, acting as part of the UK's television and communications network, although there's been some secrecy around its use, and now that Bloom owns it, it's only even more secret.
Yeah, now everything that's part of Bloom's city surveillance operation is run through the telecoms tower. And I have to say, it looks completely ridiculous. It's got that silly crown thing at the top and all the blue light.
What's that even about? What does it do? I don't see that there's any purpose to that at all.
It's a blight on the skyline, if you ask me. And it's become the main point of control for millions of people. The system network and Bagley are both operated and streamed from there too.
And don't forget about the self-driving cars too.
I always thought they were just running on their own.
No, CTOS is the big control system behind the cars. There was a point back in the earliest days of self-driving car technology that they operated by themselves. They used to use a series of sensors to see the world around them. Radar, for instance, would look far off into the distance, while LiDAR would detect objects nearby. And while these cars still use some of this technology, Bloom CTOS and its detailed maps and data that it has on London really makes Bloom be able to take control of it. And CTOS can take control of your car if you're parked incorrectly. It's no surprise that it was made mandatory to have a self-driving car.
The system is so bad though, it's so annoying. Whenever I try to use one of the shareable self-driving cars, I always find myself stuck in traffic jams or roadblocks. Not to mention the accidents. I've heard so many stories of cars shunting into the back of others. I think they're worse than human drivers sometimes.
The technology was meant to make things better, but Bloom has made it so bad that it just makes London even more chaotic than it was before. I'm giving up on the cars. I'm only using the bikes, which are not self-driving at the moment at least. And don't even get me started on the data. Everything that Bloom sees from your movements around the city and the self-driving cars is collected and feeds back into its big information control system.
Oh, not you and Bloom and privacy again. You're a broken record.
Not as broken as our city's cars.
This is London Calling. You're listening to Buccaneer, your pirate podcast source for what they don't want you to know. I'm Tash, and this time we're giving a special shout out from us to the boys and girls at the Signal and Intelligence Response Service, better known as SIRS. Why not? They're going to be listening anyway. They're listening to everything. They probably know that you're listening to this show right now, but don't worry. We're not going to say anything bad about a massive, unaccountable spy organization that uses its powers to stifle dissent and shut down free speech. Instead, we're going to look at how SIRS became so powerful. And as usual, we'll keep everyone's names and locations secret, so SIRS doesn't come looking for them. Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic media in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
You know, we're looking at all the wrong things when we look at Britain's crisis. There's a lot of concentration on data and how that's been used and manipulated. And what we haven't looked at is the power structures and the profit that lies behind this. For example, if we examine what actually happened, you know, there's a company that's really very interested in selling passports and making it easy to provide visas for investment and so on. And historically, throughout the world, they've been working with this big data manipulation company in order to overthrow governments, and then suddenly all the chickens came home to roost. Nobody could find any receipts for what was paid for. Nobody could figure out how things were done, but everybody had a feeling that something really stunk, and they couldn't figure it out. And yet it was standing there in their face the whole time. There's a couple of different ways that we got where it is that we are. I mean, one, you have a lot of smaller organizations, smaller power groups, companies as well, who are bending things just a little. Oh, we'll compromise a little bit, we'll bend the rules a little bit, and try to achieve what it is that we hope to achieve that's good for us. And if you add all of that up, what you end up with is a big wall moving in a big way from a lot of little buttons being pushed. But also there's this other thing that's going on here, is the gathering of data and the analysis of data has authoritarianism contained within its DNA. It is by its nature a tool for authoritarianism, and it has been used in that way.
How does big data look into our lives? James covered it for the pre-crisis press.
We're starting to see the merger of private data and that with data held by the state into what are called social credit systems. This is where every aspect of your behaviour is monitored and totted up by a central system to sort of score you as a person, a bit like a credit card, but predicated on all of your behaviour rather than just the money you're spending. And this can have profound impact. We're starting to see systems emerge which will punish you and stop you from doing things in society based on your behaviours. And this can be as trivial as if you jaywalk, if you cross the road in the wrong place, you might lose points. If you do some community activities or help your neighbours, you might earn points. And then this can be used to sort of evaluate you as a person. And this could mean, for example, the travel privileges, being able to travel first class, or being denied from travelling first class to not being allowed to travel at all. These systems are very real and very possible because of all of the data that is now held on us.
Ian was a veteran political writer and podcaster back in the days of pre-crisis Britain.
Is the world we're living in now fascist? Well, this is what fascism is. It is the complete and total control of the individual. The desire to basically say to the individual, nothing in your life matters. On an individual basis, you are now part of the whole. part of the nation, and the only meaning that you will find in your life is to become part of the nation. What is a nation? A nation doesn't mean anything, right? The nation is basically just encapsulated by the leader that takes over, that claims that he, has this sort of access to the soul of the country, to the soul of the people. He never does. It's just a myth. But that's what they go for. And on that basis, they take the right to control every aspect of your life, from who you talk to where you eat, to where you go to hang out with your friends. And what we're seeing now is a contemporary iteration of this process where you get corporations and the state operating in tandem, basically molded into one another. But that isn't that rare. I mean, you saw exactly the same thing in Nazi Germany. You look at the concentration camps that operated in Nazi Germany, there were private companies in those camps making use of that slave labor. Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing the same now. That's the way in which they track what you do. That's the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
So if your ears are burning and you think someone might be watching you, you're probably right. They're watching all of us. I'm Tash, and you've been listening to Buccaneer. Keep listening, keep sharing the show, and keep it encrypted. They're watching us, but we're watching them too.
Hello and welcome to today's episode of The Upload. We're talking about the Optic and how it's changed our lives. Now, as you remember, Bloom announced a new version of the Optic at the recent Tone conference, but we haven't heard too much about that since due to the dramatic events there. Let's cast our minds back and consider the technology. I mean, the Optic changed everything. It lets you see things in AR. You no longer need a smartphone. You just have the small implant that sends signals to your optic nerve and lets you see your emails, take calls, and browse the internet directly as if the screen was in front of your eyes. Instead of having to carry around a phone, you've just got the small handheld unit. So much lighter and so much more convenient. It's great.
Vicky, you sound like you absolutely love the Optic. Do you actually think that it's made our lives any better?
I mean, sure, it's definitely made things a lot easier. It's so simple to call someone now. All you have to do is choose who you want to chat to, and they're there, ready to talk. And browsing the web is so much easier. I remember when you used to have to sit down at a computer with an actual keyboard and mouse and type everything out. And my favourite feature is public transport. With the Optic, you can just walk straight onto the tube. It even acts as a passport. No longer do I have to dig around and try and find my old paper passport just to travel somewhere. Also, I thought that Optic's marketing strategy, making it free for people, was a stroke of genius.
Genius. Bloom was really calculated when it was doing that. It was pushing this draconian device on us at all. Sure, everybody flocked to it. There was free Wi-Fi and phone plans. That definitely helped, but it wasn't a case of this is a product that you need in your life.
Why do you hate it so much?
It's just the worst because you had to give up your privacy expectations and accept surveillance. It was almost like the government and Bloom didn't even need to make the Optic mandatory. Making it mandatory was only to get the last holdouts across the line. If free data didn't convince you, fines and arrests from the state for not having the Optic would pretty much be enough.
I mean, what do you mean by privacy problems? No one really talks about that anymore.
They don't talk about it because we don't have any choice when it comes to the Optic. Yes, it's convenient and mandatory, but everybody's forgotten what it really means. Here, you've got a whole company owning basically all the data about your life. Bloom can see everything that you can see. Nothing is private anymore. There are so many times when I don't want anyone to have a clue about where I am, who I'm chatting with, what I'm doing. It's not even dodgy stuff, but I just don't want anybody to blackmail me with this in the future by hacking it. And because of Bloom's contracts with the government, it isn't just Bloom that can see everything I do, it's the government. The UK as a state has become a complete surveillance paradise.
I think you're painting a bit of a bleak picture. It's not all that bad.
No, you're completely wrong on this. I don't want everybody tracking me wherever I'm going around London.
Well, in that case, you might be interested in some rumours I heard. Did you hear that some DedSec hackers have found a way to bypass the Optic's connection with Bloom?
Are they actually making it better or usable or actually friendly for anybody?
Well, word on the street is that they've been able to create an encrypted signal, which means that your world might have a chance of becoming a bit more private again, so you could go back and enjoy all the great things about Optic without that fear of surveillance.
With the optic, privacy's dead.
No DedSec registration detected. Identify yourself, or I'll seal the exits, hack your optic, and read you every drunken email you ever wrote until you starve.
Whoa, whoa, it's all right. I'm supposed to be here. Authorization code Sabine sent me?
Sabine's alive? Well, that's one piece of good news. I'm Bagley, DedSec's definitely not stolen, highly advanced AI assistant, and it seems I've been out of commission for a few months. Anyway, why don't you go connect me to the DedSec network so I can become more powerful than you could possibly imagine? I mean, catch up on what I missed. Ah, that's it. I'm reconnected to the network, downloading our database, news archives, and oh no. Terrorist group DedSec responsible for deadly bombings in London. Dalton Wolf dead? I leave you people alone for a second and you immediately cock it all up.
Sounds like a proper conspiracy, Bagley. Who was really behind the bombings then?
There's a gap in my memory after Dalton, well, let's be honest, after I disarmed the bomb at Parliament. I'm missing information about what happened after I was taken offline. But from what I can infer, an unknown hacker group identified only as Zero Day was involved. I believe this Zero Day staged the attacks and framed DedSec for their dirty work. Come to my terminal. Sabine is requesting a video call. Patching in Sabine Brandt now. I suggest you listen very closely to anything she has to say.
There you are. I'm glad you made it. Bagley, God, it's good to hear your demented little voice. Is your memory intact?
Not even slightly. The last record I have is of our HQ being raided. My only lead is a group known as Zero Day. Ring any bells?
No. But the HQ was attacked by some men in black, the same that were at Parliament. Maybe working together. We didn't stand a chance. They just gunned everyone down.
Fuck, that's mental. You were lucky to get out alive.
I managed to escape through the sewers to Camden. A contact smuggled me out of the city, and I've been hiding out in the north since.
Prudent. Your profile is red flagged as a high-priority target in the city's surveillance system. Even a partial recognition here would have you hunted down and shot on sight.
Yeah. About that. I'm guessing that if I join up, that kind of attention extends to me, right? Christ, Sabine, it's fucking risky.
Listen, if anyone knows anything about risks, it's me. I lost everything and everyone. But it comes down to this. London is in a death spiral. And if DedSec can't pull it out, trust me, no one can. The city needs a resistance. And it starts with you. What do you say?
I'll say Amir. So what the hell? Let's get to it.
Excellent. New user registered. Welcome to DedSec. Now, it would be irresponsible of us to release you naked and mewling into the wild. You'll find equipment around the safe house that are essential items in your DedSec kit. We have a sophisticated system for hiding your identity from facial recognition tech. It's called a mask. And while we're here, perhaps we can talk about updating your wardrobe. I mean, look at you. Come on.
You've got all these fancy new toys, but it's also important to know the basics. You need to learn how to throw a punch and how to take one. Albion will escalate if you come at them with a gun and shoot you down. We want to avoid collateral damage. In DedSec, we try to use guns only as a last resort.
Have you already met Connie Robinson? She owns the pub and is an old DedSec contact, not to mention a champion amateur boxer. Go to the practice ring and she'll show you how to stop flinching when someone cocks a punch at you.
I'll be right down. Could use the warm-up.
Let's start with some basic strikes. Hit me. Don't be shy. Nice one! You want to get under my block. Find the weak point. Just like that. It. That's it. Quick on your feet now. You want to create distance. Couldn't have done that better myself. Just like that.
Right. Gear in order? Know enough not to punch yourself in the face or get shot for pulling out a gun too early? Brilliant. I'm working out how we find Zero Day and ruin their day, but I need someone with actual legs to do the legwork. Hope you're ready.
We have some damage control to do if we want to change the perception that we're a bunch of violent thugs. I'll let you be the judge of how best to handle yourself, but remember, you represent DedSec now.
Oh, people are just trying my patience. Imagine how you...
So, which evil cabal are we taking on first?
Make no mistake, London is under occupation. Armed mercenaries patrol our streets, allegedly to keep people safe, but really they're keeping the people scared.
You mean Albion? Yeah, they definitely got that fascist thing going for them. Convince the people they're some kind of saviours, right?
So, we have to ignite the will to resist in the people of London by showing them that Albion aren't the solution. They're the problem.
For that, we'll need information. I'm pushing 2 sets of coordinates to your optic.
Cheers, Bagley. I've identified 2 opportunities. 1, we're going to disrupt some Albion propaganda. Remind the people it's not Albion's way or the highway. 2, we need intel about Albion operations if we want to throw a spanner in their plans. You game?
Sabine, we're going to wake up this city.
Brilliant. Let's get the people of London on board.
I refuse to put up with this. Seriously, what is going on?
Easy does it now.
Hey, we met one time, you remember?
This won't solve any of your problems.
Oh, seriously, come on.
I'm on your side here. Just relax.
Get away from me!
To think I bled for this country to protect teat-sucking, cowardly little shits like you.
I'm not gonna let my blood boil over this situation. Refuse to put up with this.
Oh shit!
Why is this happening to me right now?
The thing! Unfucking believable!
What I hear? Can't believe this is happening.
Really? Is this what we're doing now?
Is everything
Nah, fam, not worth it.
or only this?
Are you sure you can still throw straight?
Listen to me. Calm down. Yours truly. Let's have a game of darts, yeah?
Yeah, all right. Is it working? Come on. How do I work? Got to be joke. It's unacceptable. I'm not gonna let my blood boil over this situation. Imagine how they feel right now. It's all defend the best practices. Best pump. Best beat.
I'm on your side.
I don't need your bloody help.
Play the fucking think I bled for this protect sucking, cowardly little shits like you.
Why does this always bloody happen? I refuse to put up with this. buses in my mind. No stupid as you. Finally, I get some vex by their gossip. Guess what the wankers do? That's weird. They go abused by me. Come on, you've got to be joking. It's unacceptable. I'm gonna let my blood boil over this situation. Imagine how you look like. A little ray of sunshine is always
Damn it, damn it!
Personal space. Heard of it? Don't do that. Don't be weird.
goes in and out of his flat without... Where's he when the club's in?
Don't do that.
Have I been there? Say hello to him. Bloody Lord. Andrew is the most respectful businessman in London. Oh, he's a fucking hitman. You?
All right. I like that. Like it a lot. That's weird.
Victory! That's right! Bow before me!
Best fish and chips, best barber, and so on and so forth. Now the plebs just spout about the worst this and the worst that. I blame the fucking internet.
Hey there, how we doing? How is it?
Give me some space, yeah? Bugger off. One lazy sock's on the phone.
Yours true. Finally, I get some vexed by their gossip. I tell them
Not interested. I'm not looking for mates, mate. Pardon me. Could you just...
goes in and out of his flat with that black brick.
There you go. Now take it easy, yeah?
Whatever. See if I can.
Hi, how you doing?
You all right? Usually I never lose my head like that. Whoever sent this should be arrested. Could you not be right there?
Limit travel during high-risk hours. Albion is monitoring the current situation.
Yo, you friendly, huh? What's good? Huh? Serious? Like, seriously serious? Hey, champion.
This always bloody happens.
No fucking day. Come on, man. Let's just chill, all right?
This will not get for them. They should have never...
Gotta get out of here. What the hell's wrong with that thing? Lock it down.
That isn't faulty wiring! Find that hacker!
moving on.
Could be anywhere right now.
No room for error here.
Don't see anything here.
Are at the discretion of Albion agents.
Lord, people these days.
You bloodthirsty bastards! Fuck you, tyrants!
Yes. You can trust on that, fam. Well, it's something you need.
Huh?
That's... You're not listening to me.
Know what's wrong with this world? Everybody's got a problem with someone else, and none of them will come and talk about it. Whatever happens to this life, we can do whatever. Someone walks down the street doing something weird, that's just their business, isn't it? We don't care. We're not going to stop over them and
A reminder. Albion services are operating for your safety.
No need cries for the immediate area.
Directors, Albion personnel.
That's it. No more games. Now we both know you have what I want, so just give it up already. Now, you twat. Fine. Do it. Pick up the pace. There. Happy now?
Fuck your mother.
Next time, don't bother resisting.
You see, selfie things fast, aren't they?
Run along, little one, before you get hurt.
So it's in our favourite place. Nice to meet you.
What's your problem? Oh, okay.
Hey, are you trying to do me harm?
These are all identification.
Stupid hungry metal.
Albion will disassemble unlawful gatherings by any means necessary. Assemblies of over 5 humans will be disbanded.
Jetpack is no longer a threat.
This is not
Do I need to use this?
Use a pursuit intervention technique.
Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled.
The bug, nibbling away on the rotting carcass of a once free Britain.
Yum yum.
Hello, Bugs. This is the Bug. I'm Andy. This is Alice, and today we're going to be pretending that everything is fine. Yeah, and back. Yeah, that was fun, Wallet. That was as long as I could manage. A second and a half. A reality time now, however. And, well, finally today, we're going to road test the latest update to the CSAY app, the government app that has brought the great British tradition of snitching on people you don't like back to the very heart of public life, the school playground. I'm going to tell a new threat that's got a whole new lease of life these days, thanks to CSAY. And isn't Britain all the more fun because of it? No more grumbling about your neighbours playing their music too loud. Just simply report them to the state and have them, shall we say, involuntarily rehoused at Hotel Cass, the chain of hotels that was formerly known
Auto
as the
drive
prison
now
service.
enabled.
What was the slogan? Is it, if you see something, say something? Or if you think you might at some point see something, say something? Or if you haven't seen anything but don't like someone, say something anyway. So, well, let's have a look at this new app. Alice, I'm sure you've got it on your phone. I mean, at first glance, well, the interface is lovely. It's so neatly designed. A simple button to snitch on someone. That's so much better than non-government informer apps like Stool Easy, Can Canary or Narc Shark. I mean, look, I just need to geocache where the person I'm ratting on currently is. Let's call her, for the sake of argument, Alice.
Sorry, Andy, I was busy reporting you to the authorities for rolling your eyes when passing a Nigel Cass propaganda poster.
Could you not let me report you first, please? Let's have some decorum about this. I'll just... Take a quick little photo so they can get a drone to pick you out of a crowd at your
Auto
next
drive
riot
now
or
disabled.
trip to the shops or walk in the woods. And you can input your accusations with the app. Well, let's go old school. Let's call the phone line. Let's call the phone line. Here's the number, listeners, in case you want to dob someone in, as long as it's not me. 0044 203 807 3832. And don't forget to get the permission of the person who pays your bills before you call that number.
Hey, I'd like to report my co-host Andrew, who runs an underground satirical anti-government comedy show, for running and co-hosting an underground satirical anti-government comedy show. Also, he does terrible puns.
Well, excuse me, I have a suspect for you. That is my co-host, Alice. I have some evidence for you. She tutted audibly at the sight of an Albion vehicle in the street yesterday. She says she prefers pigeons to Bloom drones. I mean, come on, seriously, when did a drone ever crap on your picnic? And what's more, and look, I've no idea if this is true or not, but I have it on very good authority, so please write this down, that she owns not one, but two unlicensed fallopian tubes, whatever they are, but they sound dodgy.
If I had a crypto for every time someone had reported my fallopian tubes, I'd have 3. Sure, I think it converts to about 120,000 Great British pounds in the old note.
We'll report back in the next episode about whether or not we've been arrested and interned. I mean, I love this system, Alice. I mean, no more awkward, rumbling resentments with your neighbours, your colleagues, or, what the heck, in for a penny, your family. You just dob them in and be done with it. But I guess it could backfire. I mean, the thing is with a family, inevitably parents and their children, they end up squabbling, and, you know, in today's Britain, your kids are going to dob you in, so you might as well get in there first and preemptively counter-dob them in to the authorities. What's that number again? Let's call them up again. Hey, I've got someone else. It's my son. Let's call him
Auto
Norris.
drive now disabled.
He never tidies his bedroom. He gets up late. He listens to illegal, non-government sanctioned music and is covertly plotting the downfall of the government and the restoration of a true democracy. Thank you.
Yeah, define all your household chores.
Albion have established an operational base in the Royal Court of Justice.
Albion own the bloody courts now. It's like picking up a go directly to jail card at this point.
Exactly. But it likely means there's information here about how Albion are targeting dissenters, the who and the why. We need that data if we're going to disrupt their operation.
Don't need this shite. Tell me you heard that. That does it. Oh, shoot! We have an intruder!
Investigating. Yep, they were there. Last I saw. Playtime is over! Taking fire! GBB, first on the scene, first to bring
The suspect is definitely there.
This area is being recorded by the GBB. Global British Broadcasting. Britain's first news. Yep. This area is being recorded by the GBB.
Bagley, what have we got?
a list of what Albion consider high-value targets that are threats to the peaceful running of London. See here, a journalist, and this one runs a community shelter. Good God, bar your doors.
What the fuck?
All suspected of sowing rebellion or exhibiting tendencies towards... Albion is systematically arresting people even before they rise up. Joke's on them. This list can actually help us find like-minded allies willing to help us. Well done. Now, let's disrupt some of Albion's propaganda and give some hope to the people.
Yeah, no, I told him that. Yeah. Oh my god, I know. What? No, so you just... Is that a fucking gun?
Really worth all that, dear? Oh god, what is that?
No kidding. Serious? Oh, really? I hear what you say.
You're someone who's had just about enough of this bollocks. Am I right?
Oh, you're DedSec. Good. I need help with something.
I mean, can't guarantee anything, but we'll try. What's up?
My friend just got taken in one of the Albion raids. They're undocumented and will get deported.
Not to brag, but we're sort of experts rescuing Albion prisoners and all that. We'll handle it.
It's not that simple. This will just happen again next time they go through a checkpoint. And checkpoints are everywhere. But a passport would help. And I hear Clan Kelly makes very good fake ones. You understand?
Right. Right. I'll set things in motion.
Thank you. Do this and I will owe you a favor. Trust me, this is a good thing for you. Hey, you're in my space.
Fuck yes!
Just who do you think you are?
Yes, get in! I love it!
Idiot! Lovely.
I love it!
Asshole.
Absolute fucking
There has to be a better
fuck
way.
yes!
Yes. Huh?
Yes, get in!
Asshole. Another one. No.
Brilliant!
You muppet.
Woo!
That's
Yeah!
fantastic.
Woo!
Oh, shame.
You
There is no way
idiot.
this is right.
Fuck
Yes.
yes!
Just who do you think you are?
I love it!
Woo! That's fantastic. You idiot.
Woo! Yeah!
No.
Yes, get in!
Get the fuck out of here! Fucking twat! Get your shit together! What an arsehole!
Go fuck your mom.
Your mother was a dog, and your father fucked the dogs.
Copy that. You again?
See you again.
I see that.
your eyes!
The bug, nibbling away on...
Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled. Auto drive now disabled. Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled.
Let's fight.
Hey, you decide how this goes. If I get caught by something, I'm fucking dead. Okay, we're done here. Fuck off!
Oh!
Any weapons? I don't like the look of that. We're better than
This
you
isn't
know.
right.
There's an intruder! Sniff them out! The use of any third-party apps to monitor tracking or CTOS activity is illegal and dangerous. Unauthorized programs leave you vulnerable to digital attacks and compromise security.
This is the new normal, innit? To see Albion's brand everywhere you look.
At least that's what they have us believing, fucking dickheads.
There's going to be that much less once you're done here. Let's give Camden a break from these eyesores.
I got this.
You have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide.
If you hijack that scissor lift, you could use it to access the rooftop.
Yes, nicely done. That'll get people's attention. Let them know someone is standing up to Albion. Light the spark that they can stand up to.
If nothing else, it'll relieve their eye strain.
What now? Oh.
We're already seeing results from what you've done. That list we found named a journalist in Camden who's been investigating Albion. We reached out and he's got information that can help us. I think you should meet with him.
Send me the coordinates.
Open your rotten eyes.
Clumsy prick.
Package searches are at the discretion of Albion agents. All customers must comply with requests to surrender weapons for search at any time. Failure to do so is a crime.
left alone.
Auto drive now enabled. Auto drive now disabled.
You left me standing there. You say you don't remember. What about all those years? You say you don't remember. Yeah. You left me standing there. You say you don't remember. What about all those years? You say you don't remember.
Everyday worries can become every night worries. Round and round and round they go, until yesterday's worries become today's. Don't let sleep be a worry. One pop and the worries will stop. Karkani. Sleep better.
Auto drive now disabled.
Interfering with our new activities is considered a criminal offense.
The demands of being a DedSec operative are all consuming, so taking app gigs is a good way to make some extra quid that works around your new schedule. Lots of people will pay well to have their sensitive packages handled with care, and some will even pay you for deliveries. Ha ha! It's rather inconvenient to have my operatives jailed, so take care delivering that package.
Yep. I won't hesitate to shoot you.
Brilliant.
Control, I can't see the suspect. Please advise. Return to HQ. This is pointless.
What you say? No kidding.
This aggro shit is just overcompensating. That's obvious. Fuck you!
Easy on the horn. Oh, really? Serious?
Suck your mother! Get fucked! You think I care? I don't. I have nothing to
real fucking attitude problem. Do you know that? Maisie, I'm done. I'm done. I've been telling you now that I'm gonna leave the city for how long, and this is the day. I'm leaving. I've had enough. I've told you from day one. This is gonna go to shit.
Fuck you! You look like you kick puppies for a living, you raging absolute.
I've had it up to you with breaks like you making life harder for the rest of us. What are you beeping at me for?